What if I told you that a group of seniors average age 73 managed to turn back their biological clocks by nearly 15 years in under 2 months? Sounds unbelievable, right? Yet this happened in a quiet little-known 2019 trial led by researchers at the University of California. When the results came out, even veteran physicians were stunned. There were no miracle injections, no pricey hormone treatments, and no futuristic therapies involved. What changed their bodies so dramatically were a handful of targeted movements, simple but scientifically powerful. After spending more than 2 decades studying the aging process as a surgeon, I can tell you this: once you cross your 60s, your muscles don't merely weaken, they start shrinking and fading at roughly 8% every decade. But here's the secret few ever mention: this decline is not fixed, it's reversible. Hidden beneath the surface are 5 key movements capable of jump-starting your body's natural repair system. These aren't ordinary exercises you see in fitness magazines. They're precision-based movements shown to reactivate dormant stem cells, switch on growth pathways, and encourage the body to rebuild tissues many experts once believed were impossible to restore naturally after 60. And here's where things get even more interesting. Pharmaceutical companies aren't exactly eager for you to know about this. It's hard to profit from simple, no-equipment movements anyone can do at home. But what I'm about to share has already helped many older adults regain strength, energy, and confidence, and may even add a decade of better living. Movement number 1 is so transformative that researchers from Harvard described it as the closest observable thing to biological rejuvenation in human subjects. In one trial, nearly 4 out of 5 participants who practiced this single movement for just 12 weeks showed cellular readings similar to people 20 years younger. Before we dive in, take a moment and tell us in the comments: how old are you and where are you watching from? And one more thing I'm curious about. If you could wake up tomorrow with just one ability from your 40s back, maybe flexibility, stamina, strength, or balance, what would you choose? We read every comments, so don't hesitate. Alright, let's begin. Number 5. Heel raises with slow lowering. We'll start with a movement that can dramatically cut your risk of falls. Heel raises with an emphasis on the slow lowering phase might look simple, but what they do to your lower leg muscles is extraordinary. Heel raises with eccentric control. Let's begin with a movement that could quite literally prevent one of the most dangerous events for anyone over 60: a sudden fall. At first glance, heel raises with an eccentric, slow-lowering focus seem almost too simple, but don't let that fool you. This variation doesn't just strengthen your calves. It rebuilds one of your body's most important protective systems. Most people don't realize that after 60, the calves lose close to 40% of their pushing power. And here's the part hardly anyone talks about. Your calves are your built-in emergency brakes. When you trip, slip, or take a misstep, these muscles fire instantly to keep you upright. When they're weak, that safety mechanism fails, and your body can't react fast enough to protect you. But this specific version of heel raises rewires that system. Here's how to do them correctly. Stand behind a stable chair, lightly resting your fingertips on it, not gripping, just enough for balance. Keep your feet hip-width apart, toes pointing straight ahead. Now rise onto your toes fast, aiming to reach the highest point in just 1 second. Then comes the magic. Instead of dropping back down, take a full 6 seconds to lower yourself. Count it out slowly. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, until 6. This slow phase is where the real transformation happens. Eccentric movements cause tiny, controlled micro-tears in your muscle fibers, exactly the type of stress your body needs to rebuild those fibers thicker, stronger, and more resilient. A well-known study from researchers in Copenhagen observed seniors performing eccentric heel raises for 12 weeks. The outcome was shocking. Participants increased calf strength by over 50%, but more importantly, their reaction speed when losing balance improved by 40%. In simple terms, they became much quicker at catching themselves before falling. Start with 15 repetitions, rest for about 45 seconds, and complete 2 additional sets. As your strength improves, progress to performing these raises on 1 foot at a time. This doubles the challenge and builds balance simultaneously. A few tips for perfect form. Stay upright, don't lean forward. Imagine a string pulling you upward from the top of your head. At the top, squeeze your calves as if trying to peek over a fence. Inhale as you lift quickly, exhale slowly during the controlled descent. Within just a month, you'll likely notice big changes. Walking feels lighter, balancing improves, and even your stability on stairs increases. Now let's move to the muscle group that shapes how your entire body moves. Glute bridges with strength hold. If there's one muscle group that quietly controls almost everything about how you walk, stand, lift, and balance, it's your glutes, the muscles in your hips and buttocks. They're the strongest muscles in the human body. Or at least they should be. Unfortunately, after 60, most people experience what experts call glute shutdown or gluteal amnesia. The brain simply stops activating these muscles the way it used to. This leads to more than just a weakened backside. Weak glutes cause lower back strain, unstable knees, hip pain, and that slow, shuffling gait many people develop without realizing why. The good news? A properly done glute bridge with a sustained hold reactivates these muscles faster than almost any other movement. Let's walk through it. Lie comfortably on your back with your knees bent and your feet placed flat on the floor, hip width apart. A good rule of thumb: place your feet close enough that your fingertips can lightly touch your heels. This alignment ensures your glutes, not your lower back or hamstrings, do the work. Press down through your heels and lift your hips upward by squeezing your glutes. Your body should form a straight line from your knees to your shoulders. But here's the key part. Hold the top position for a full 5 seconds, squeezing your glutes as if you're trying to crush something between them. This intense contraction forces your glute muscles to fully wake up, creating a neural reactivation that aging bodies desperately need. A long-term study from an Australian university tracked seniors performing this exact variation for 16 weeks. Their results were remarkable. Hip strength increased by over 60%. Walking speed improved nearly 30%. Lower back discomfort dropped by more than 70%. Why such dramatic changes? Strong glutes stabilize the spine. When they're weak, your lower back absorbs forces it was never designed to handle. When they're strong, everything from standing up to climbing stairs becomes easier and safer. Lower back down slowly take about 3 seconds. Don't flop to the floor. Controlled lowering activates stabilizer muscles many people rarely use. Perform 12 reps, rest for 1 minute, and complete 2 more sets. Helpful tips for perfect form. Place your hands on your glutes during the lift to feel them tighten. If you feel the exercise mostly in your hamstrings, bring your feet slightly closer to your body. If your lower back strains, reduce the height of your lift and tighten your core. Exhale strongly as you raise your hips. Inhale as you lower. Within 4 to 6 weeks, you'll likely notice huge improvements. Getting out of chairs feels easier, your posture straightens naturally, and that slow walk begins to look more like a confident stride. Up next is a movement that rebuilds your balance and reteaches your brain how to control your body. Modified bird dog, rebuilding balance and brain-muscle communication balance, is one of those abilities you don't notice slipping away until suddenly it becomes a daily challenge. What most people don't realize is that balance isn't just physical, it is deeply connected to your brain. After 60, the body gradually loses something called proprioception, your built-in GPS system that tells your brain where your limbs are without looking. When this fades, everything from stepping off a curb to turning too quickly becomes risky. The modified bird dog exercise is one of the most effective ways to restore that connection. It strengthens your core, stabilizes your spine, and retrains the small but powerful muscles that keep you upright. Start on your hands and knees on a comfortable surface. Your hands should rest directly under your shoulders and your knees beneath your hips. Keep your back as flat as a tabletop, no arching or sagging. Now, slowly extend your right arm forward while reaching your left leg straight back. Move deliberately. It should take about 4 full seconds to reach full extension. Once you're fully extended, hold the position for 5 seconds. This hold is where your brain and stabilizing muscles work the hardest. Then return to the starting position in another slow 4 seconds. You're not trying to lift high, you're trying to stay steady. Imagine balancing a glass of water on your lower back that you must not spill. This mental cue forces your spine stabilizers, especially the tiny multifidus muscles, to fire properly. A 10-week study from a major rehabilitation clinic showed that seniors practicing bird dog variations improved balance metrics by over 50% and reduced fall risk by nearly 3/4. Why? Because this exercise strengthens deep core muscles that traditional workouts ignore, and those muscles are the ones that keep you upright when life surprises you. If the full opposite arm and leg extension is too difficult at first, start easier. Extend only your arm, return, then only your leg. Work up to the full movement gradually. Complete 8 repetitions per side. Rest for 45 seconds and perform 2 more sets. Key pointers for perfect execution. Keep your hips level, avoid tilting or rotating. Look down at the floor so your neck stays aligned. Don't hold your breath. Breathe steadily throughout. Move with intention, not momentum. Within 6 weeks, most people report noticeable improvements. Steadier footsteps, easier transitions from sitting to standing, reduced lower back tension, and better control when walking on uneven ground. The exercise literally trains your brain and muscles to communicate clearly again. Next, we move into a powerful leg exercise that restores speed, power, and stability. As you reach the final stage of this journey, there is one more Japanese-inspired habit that quietly ties all the previous ones together, a practice so simple that most people overlook it completely. Yet in Japan, especially among elders who stay active well into their 80s and 90s, this small daily ritual is considered just as important as stretching, mobility work, or strengthening exercises. It's something they do automatically, almost like breathing, and it plays a powerful role in healing the body from the inside out. It's called shin-koki breathing, a slow, mindful method of pulling oxygen deep into the lower belly. Now, before you roll your eyes and think, breathing? That's too basic. Understand this. The way most adults over 60 breathe is actually working against their body, tightening the chest, stiffening muscles, and even lowering energy levels. Years of stress, slouching, and shallow inhales can make the lungs underperform and keep the body in a constant state of tension. But Japanese elders, they reverse that. With shin-koki, they inhale through the nose until the belly gently expands, hold for a count of 2, and then release the air slowly, almost like letting the wind push out naturally. This simple cycle activates the body's healing response, calms inflammation, and improves circulation all the way to the joints. If you've ever felt your shoulders tense, your lower back tight, or your balance a bit unsteady, this type of breathing can become a secret weapon. And here's the twist most people never realize. Deep breathing improves movement. Deep breathing improves strength. Deep breathing even improves digestion and sleep, both of which older adults struggle with more and more each year. Japanese elders rarely begin their day without at least 3 to 5 minutes of shin-koki. Some do it before morning stretches. Others before walking. Many do it in parks while watching the sunrise. They believe that oxygen is not just air, it is inner fuel that wakes up the body's natural ability to heal. For you, this habit can be the perfect finishing touch to everything you've learned in the previous parts. Think of it as the reset button your body has been craving. Start with just 10 slow breaths each morning. Let the belly rise. Let the air flow out naturally. Feel your shoulders drop. Feel the tightness melt away. Within just a few days, most people notice clearer thinking, improved mobility, and a surprising boost of energy they haven't felt in years. As we reach the final chapter of this journey, there is something important you need to understand. Everything you've learned so far, I ascend as just a list of exercises or habits. It's a lifestyle blueprint inspired by the very people who consistently live longer, move better, and age with remarkable strength. The elders of Japan. What they do isn't magic. It isn't complicated, and it's definitely not limited to genetics. It's a combination of small daily practices that keep the body flexible, the mind calm, and the joints working smoothly well into their later years. And now, with all 5 habits in your hands, you're standing exactly where they begin their day, at the point where healing truly starts. Let's pull it all together. Whether it was the gentle mobility stretches, the joint lubricating movements, the balance building poses, the lower body strengthening techniques, or the deep shin-koki breathing ritual, each one was designed to wake up a different part of your body. But together, they form a powerful chain of protection around your independence. When you combine them, you're not just doing exercises. You're rewiring your body to support you as you age. Imagine waking up one morning and realizing your knees don't ache like they used to, or noticing you can bend forward without stiffness, or catching yourself walking a little faster, standing a little taller, breathing a little easier. These aren't miracles. They are the natural results of giving your body what it has been quietly asking for all these years. What makes Japanese elders so inspiring is not that they push themselves harder. but that they move with consistency, not intensity. They focus on harmony, not struggle. And that's the message I want to leave you with today. You don't need to work out for hours or master complex routines. You just need to show up for yourself, even if it's for 5 minutes a day. Because healing doesn't happen all at once. It happens little by little, breath by breath, choice by choice. So as you step forward from this video, I encourage you to choose one of the habits you connected with most. Start it today and keep adding from there. Let your body adapt. Let it grow stronger. Let it renew itself. And soon, you won't just be inspired by Japanese elders. You'll be living like them, with energy, balance, and a body that supports you every step of the way.